Thanks for joining us for another weekly video. This time we're looking at the Yamanami-ryu Aikijutsu system, and we're looking at one of our striking techniques. So this will be from a lead side jab. Before we start, I want to emphasize how important it is for the uke to throw a realistic jab. Rather than throwing a punch and leaving it like this, no one's going to do that. And I understand it's at a certain level, it's okay. You know, if you're just starting off and you want to work on to deflect, and then you want to work on basic things, maybe I can understand that. We actually don't even do that with our white belts. So the technique we're looking at tonight is kote gaeshi, a wrist reversal. So I'll show you the whole technique, full speed, and then we'll break it down. I want to again emphasize how important it is, even though we're going full speed and he's throwing a realistic punch and withdrawing it like a boxer, and I'm going to be moving pretty fast, I want to emphasize that you still have to exercise control over your partner. And there's a point to where it becomes dangerous, and so you can't do this in a very cavalier fashion. So again, I need to stress that care must be taken when performing these techniques, and you have to have a level of trust with your partner. So safety is always very important. These arts that we practice have to be done with two people. So here's the technique. Notice at the finish, my shin is on the inside of his arm. If it's not, sometimes you see a throw this way and he can pull back, and it becomes difficult to control. When I throw here and he pulls back, my leg is in there, and it gives me a brief second to do a control and then practice one of our other pins. So I'll explain the pin in a few moments. So again, I'll show you the technique, this time a little slower. So again, it's got to be a realistic jab. So when that jab is coming in, I'm simply deflecting it this way. Right? But again, people withdraw a jab. So I'm not doing anything with this hand except we're putting it by the shoulder. Now, when he punches, watch how fast when he punches and withdraws, how fast this is. This didn't move. So all I'm doing when he punches is I'm placing my hand here by his shoulder. This does a couple of things. It allows me, well, a slower target, but when he withdraws the hand, it draws in to the right spot. Now I'm simply stepping in and doing this. So it almost looks like a karate movement. So I'm simply lifting this, and then when he draws in naturally, it interlocks the hand. So all I have to do is simply maintain that deflection, and I'm going to step in and push my hand. So it's almost this feeling for all you Aikido practitioners. This movement also accomplishes something else. So from the jab, so from here, because this hand is here, if he throws another punch, it's already here, and then I can move and come in and do something different if I needed to change. It can also be used as this, as an atemi, right? And then, you know, obviously things change at that point. But for our purposes here, and let's get a little more of a close-up look on this particular. So again, I'm going here, I'm just deflecting, and I'm moving my head out of the way. So think like a boxer. When that punch comes in, I'm deflecting, and then when the punch is withdrawn, I'm locked up here. Now, get a close look at what's going on here. So fast and yeah, here. Now, after I move my head out of the way and just like a boxing slip here, and once this is interlocked, I'll push, and I'm not trying to get a specific hand grip. I'm just pressing here and interlocking this. You might have a leg technique. He might come around with the other punch, which only spins his body further. At that point, he will naturally move out of this lock, and then my hand can find the position. Sometimes I'll even throw this way. This is great, and if I step back and draw in, I may be out of range. But sometimes I'll throw this way, because if he does punch, at least I'm covered for a second. And then once the throw develops, I'll change back to a more formal position, and again, my knee is in there. Right? So this is a great throwing position. So we'll leave it for there tonight. Next week we'll work on the pin and break that down in greater detail. So before we stop, I'll go ahead and perform the technique one more time full through. Thanks for joining us. This is Tim with Endurance Martial Arts. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube.